How come dudes don't know how to follow directions? Once upon a time, in a galaxy far, far away on the east side of Detroit, me and a group of my closest associates decided to do the one thing everybody decides to do when you ain't got no money. Let's sell weed. Now, as you can probably tell from the title of this video, that's not what ended up happening. Because after deciding that being poor and not being able to get a job was a bad combination, me and a group of the most ridiculous individuals I have ever met in my life decided, you know what? We gonna do this, and this how we gonna get some money. From where we were staying, it was an abandoned house across the street, and we decided that's where we gonna set up shop. Real logical thinking. So we go in the house, go through all the rooms, find these little boxes and all these secret spots we could stash stuff at, and we come up with a business plan. We mapped out a business plan so strategic that we could have took it to the bank and got a loan if it wasn't illegal. Because yeah, this was like 15 years ago, so in Michigan, marijuana was 100% illegal. And that was the tricky part. You know how they say it takes money to make money? In order to sell something, you need the original money to buy the something that you're about to sell. Now, me being Mr. Know-It-All, I decided to ask the important question of where we getting this money from. My one homeboy, we just gonna call him Bill. He decided, hey, we can just ask our uncle for the money. Now, the uncle in question was retired from working, I believe, at Ford since he was 18 years old. He had car paid off and he got a check every month. He was living a good life. That being said, I'm pretty sure he's not about to give us any money for our drug dealing endeavors. But that's the thing. Anytime Bill is involved, it's a completely different story. I look at him more like a politician because he can take anybody's dumb idea and give him about 5 minutes and it start to make a little sense somehow. Now, we're sitting in a van in front of the house. He gets out to go ask him for the money. And I'm just telling everybody else in the car like, hey, that's not about to work. We're going to have to figure something else out. By the time I get done talking trash about this idea, he back in the car with $400. I guess we doing this then. This is where the story gets tricky and it's a lot of details missing. To this day, it's a lot of questions unanswered. Bill and another homeboy who is not to be named at all went to go purchase the marijuana that we were about to then resell to people who wanted to purchase it. They take one of these drawstring backpacks, hop in this black car. I don't know who was driving, don't know who the people were. They pull off and they supposed to be back in 30 to 45 minutes.
1 hour later, 2 hours later, 3 hours later.
So much later that the old narrator got tired of waiting and they had to hire a new one.
Now, after all these hours of waiting, me and a group of people I'm not even sure if I like anymore are sitting at this round table in this abandoned house looking like the worst excuse for the mob you have ever seen. We have been sitting here since it was daylight outside. It's dark now. Then we see the black car pull back up in front of the house and we see them get out. So it's like, okay, they didn't get murdered. They didn't get robbed, but that backpack is looking real light. I wasn't expecting the bag to be packed to the brim, but for $400, you can get a little more than what it looked like was in that bag. These fools walked in the house. Bill takes the bag off his back, sets it on the table, and pulls out 2 8 balls of crack. I had so many questions. What did you say to our uncle to get this money? Where have y'all been all day? What happened to the weed? Why is it crack? Where are my parents? Fun fact, they were on crack. That we don't have time for that. We come back to that another time. And the only answer I got was about the money, which is he got the money from our uncle and he gave us 24 hours to bring it back to him, which technically still doesn't answer my question. Nobody wanted to fess up to whose idea it was to switch from one product to the other one. Slowly but surely, each of the 7 or 8 people at this table started fading away one by one, like they wasn't down with this program. Like, hey, I ain't signed up for this. I thought we was selling green. I didn't know we was selling white. Or like with a yellowish tint. I don't know. That's too technical. And then as it gets down to the last 3 of us, and I'm just looking at what we got on the table, looking at them too. I'm just like, man, this is less ways we got to split this money. Give me my portion. And for a short amount of time after that, I was slinging dope. There's no happy ending to this story. Moral of the story, I'm not really sure. I want to say the moral of the story is don't sell crack, but we did make some money. But like at the same time, don't sell crack or smoke it because it's going to mess up your kids' lives. I might be a little biased on that, but that's my takeaway.